Hi guys, welcome to this upload for you guys here on Hope and Might Not. I know it's daylight outside. It's night somewhere in this world, but that may be. Wherever you're from. Thank you ever so much for you guys tuning in, because at the end of the day, you enjoy honesty towards professional wrestling. Now, I just want to stress to every one of you guys is that, as you know full well, as I'm an honest wrestling fan, and I'll tell you if it's crap, I'll tell you it's crap. If it's honest, if I'm honest, if it's good, it's good, it's good. But this SmackDown, I gotta admit, I was impressed with it. It takes a lot to impress me this day and age. And I was quite impressed with the format, the way they did things. But I just want to say this massively to everyone out there. Even WWE themselves advertised Cody Rhodes was going to be there. Where was he? Was he going to do off-air segments again? Because at the end of the day, I'm not being funny. We need to hear from Cody Rhodes, from his side of WrestleMania. Even though he's still a bit sore probably towards what it is. But why bill a guy there and he's not even there? Pet hate. When WWE used the Extreme, cards subject to change. Fortunate if fans have... But the thing is, we need to hear from Cody. There's not that many fans chanting for Cody at the moment. I've noticed that watching the weekly products. As well as the PLE. It feels like he's no longer in the company, that no one acknowledges him. End of the day, he lost at WrestleMania to John Cena, and we've not heard anything from him. We've not heard anything from The Rock from Elimination Chamber. I've got a feeling we'll probably hear something from Money in the Bank, because it's only just round the corner from him. Don't he live in LA now? I could be wrong, but if you know what I mean, it's just inconsistent sometimes. But then when you look at this week, what we've actually had on SmackDown, though, guys, I can't stress you enough. I did enjoy tonight's show. Well, last night's show, sorry. Because at the end of the day, that music does my head in. It puts me off. But then we hear from Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and JC Mateo. I'm not a fan of the surname. I hope it's not used often. I really hope it's not used often. JC I can handle because it feels like a nickname. But when I look at these three guys that are in the ring, why does it remind me of the Shield? It fucking reminds me of the Shield. It's another Shield. More than the Bloodline that I thought. Because they're all dressed in black. There's a lunatic, aka Jacob Fatu. There's a mouthpiece with blonde and black hair. Is no other than Solo Sikoa. Then you got someone representing Roman Reigns, aka JC, Jeff Cobb, whatever you want to class him as. Why? The thing is, it is what it is. But welcome to the dance, JC. And then the first match of the night, we literally had Chelsea Green versus Alexa Bliss versus Mincham. Triple threat women's match for the qualifier of the women's Money in the Bank. I almost said Royal Rumble then, I do apologise. I'm not a professional at the end of the day. I'm just sitting in my bedroom talking about professional wrestling at the age of 42. But I digress. I thought that was actually a good opener. It was actually a decent opener. They've need to up the level with the women's division, and somewhat they're trying to. But Alexa Bliss got the victory on this. That's what I mean. It's like when I look at that, I thought that was actually a really good opener. The worst thing is the crowd got behind it a bit late, I would say, when the match got going. But overall, Alexa Bliss got the victory on that. DIY versus Fraction. Love that match. You know, they've upped the game towards somewhat the tag team division. But Fraction got the win for that. I'm all for that. You know, it leads towards them getting a title shot towards the tag team titles next week. The one thing that really froze me. Alright? Last week, if I recall, they had a non-tag team title match. Primetime players, where am I going? Is it primetime players? It could be primetime players. Yeah, it is. I'm thinking of Private Party. I was getting mixed up then. I do apologise. Brain fart. Do apologise. You're probably screaming all in the comments. Right? Literally 2 weeks after WrestleMania, they had a match against Fraction. Fraction won. Granted. Saying they weren't 100%. So 2 weeks after having a match from 2 weeks, but this time next week, well, they would have had a 2 weeks match. But they're perfectly 100%. How can you heal from having a match in between that moment? That's so quick. Yeah, you can't take 2 weeks to heal from WrestleMania, but you take 2 weeks to heal from your SmackDown show. WWE, what are you doing? You know, there's no fucking logic whatsoever in that. You know, and that's just me being honest. So shoot me if I'm honest. Bite me. I just want to say this R-Truth and Wade Barrett sort of interview thing was okay. It was an okay thing. You know, you could tell with the likes of Wade Barrett's face, he was dying to laugh at his answers. You could literally tell written all over his face. But it's quite funny when people, WWE fans, are dubbed as like a part of a cult or tribalism and everything like that on social media. I get caught up in it as well. But it's like the way R-Truth did his interview that people caught up. I couldn't stop laughing at his answers. I was like, this is pathetic, but funny. You know? Ron the Truth Killings is fucking phenomenal. How on earth? It's just unbelievable. Then we had Carmelo Hayes versus Aleister Black. I was alright with this match, but the worst thing is it ended in disqualification. The Miz got involved. I hate when a good match gets going that I want to see. It was far superior than last week's match. Far superior. You have the crowd behind it, getting behind it, and you literally randomly give a no disqualification. For this match to go be on fire, the referee needs to ban the Miz from ringside to let them two go. Yes, it's building a story to probably that happening, but it's freaking good. You know? I wanted this match when I saw them two confirmed for a match for last week, 2 weeks ago, I went, take my money. And my God, it's sort of delivering that way, but I want them to go the distance. You know, be good. You know, it's caliber, pay-per-view caliber match there. And yet, obviously we've got a roadblock from that, probably. That's why technically I don't want Aleister Black to be in the Money in the Bank. Or Carmelo Hayes at any point. Or they're building towards them two being in the Money in the Bank and them two still having beef between each other. And then leading towards probably at SummerSlam them two having a match. Possible. You know, and I wouldn't mind that. You know. Then we literally had a backstage segment. Alexa Bliss running into Charlotte Flair. Talk about friends. And then all of a sudden, Eldest comes out of his office. Okay, fair enough. He's got Julian on SmackDown now. So you just wasted our time and effort to watch I'm so confused here. Why? This is why I said about the women's tag team matches like last on Monday Night Raw. And you've got the likes of Roxanne Perez, Julian as a tag team. They were going to be good. This is why your women's tag team division sucks so bad. Is because you're not elevating any. Yeah, fair enough. You put two women together. You are not elevating any matches towards any division that doesn't make sense. You made us believe that you made them two into a tag team match, which, don't get me wrong, was actually golden, and then all of a sudden Julian's now on SmackDown. Why are you doing shit like this? It just doesn't make any sense. And then you got the likes of Drew McIntyre coming out, sort of accepting Damian Priest's challenge to be in a steel cage match. But where? You may I ask? Where? Saturday Night Main Event. It worries me. You're giving a good match away. Right, you're building up a feud with these two. Granted, they're good. Good feud. For numerous months now. But you're building this for Saturday Night Main Event. You're going to put this on Money in the Bank. You know? But no, WWE's got a habit of doing 5 matches for PLEs. You know, I know we're quite a way for Money in the Bank. But it just baffles me. It really baffles me. Then we had the triple threat Money in the Bank match. Rey Fenix, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa got the victory in this, and I want to actually say, job well done. It was actually a good match. You know? It's really good. I did enjoy it. The one thing that really confused the fuck out of me. What's this? Nick Aldis making a singles match? I feel like you could have built something from this. Money in the Bank. Even though, yes, you've got LA Knight's got beef with like JC, don't get me wrong. He's got legitimate beef from him, but he's a new character now. Remember, WWE's rebranded him in the space of a week. But then you literally had a random improv match that was actually freaking good. You know? And JC won that match. JC Mateo. What is wrong with SmackDown this week? It's really just reflecting on it is like really, really good. You know? I'm glad. It needs something. You know? SmackDown at the moment has overshadowed Monday Night Raw, and that's saying something. That's saying something. Then we had the main event. Like I mentioned, they're literally sort of building towards the women's PLE. Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax for the women's WWE Women's Championship. Why did this feel like a carbon copy of what we already had with Jey Uso and Seth Rollins? It just felt like a carbon copy at the end. Near enough towards a carbon copy. You look at it out. CM Punk came running out with a chair. Naomi came out running out with a chair. You know, you had two people interfere in the matches, sort of thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking it. I'm not a fan of Nia Jax, or I do respect women's wrestling, as you know for well. I've already done my thoughts and opinions towards it as about WWE up in their game or taking the women's division to the next level. And then all of a sudden at the end, unprotected chair shot to the head. Because Tiffany Stratton fucking boots Nia Jax with it. That's what twisted the match. And I thought, ooh. Is Tripp's going to be pissed about that? Don't get me wrong. It was actually pretty of a solid match. But the ending didn't make any sense to a point. And then when they literally took full advantage of having the chair when Nia Jax was going to go in the ring to take the and then all of a sudden Tiffany Stratton literally boots that chair. That was not nice. That was not pretty. You know, job well done. Job well done, ladies. You know, it baffles me. It baffles me. Why the fuck have you just done a random good show out the blue, right? It just made no sense. It really don't. You literally blew me away with that. And Tiffany Stratton is still women's champion. I tell you what, I'm still dumbfounded how good that SmackDown was. You know? And that's just me being honest. It's mental how you can put on a good show out the blue on a weekly product. You make someone debut on a weekly product. Don't get me wrong, I want to stress this. I don't mind the improv matches out the blue. You know, like an added bonus, a little bit sprinkle of sugar with a cherry on the top, if it makes sense. This match made sense, but I would have preferred it like on a pay-per-view or PLE, whatever you want to class it as, like Money in the Bank, or do a dare say it, SmackDown main event. I'm intrigued what they're actually going to do with JC. I really am, because it just feels like the Shield all over again. But that's just me being honest with you. Tell me your thoughts, please do. Interact with me in the comments, I don't mind. End of the day, that's what the comment section's there for. But what a good show that was. Right, I'm off, guys. Thank you ever so much as always. Keep hitting that subscribe button. Keep hitting that bell icon so you'll be in and updated anytime when I do any videos for you guys right here on this very platform.